Good day, viewers. Welcome to Agriculture Farmer Educational Series. This is one of our series of programs whereby we try to educate farmers, we try to educate our audience on basic things which you need to know. It's just going to be a 5-minute talk, and we're just going to give you a download of some basic things that you need to know within 5 minutes. Now, please, before that, please kindly share all the content you see on agriculture.com or on agriculture media. Please kindly share it. We are there on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we are on YouTube, and then we're on TikTok. Please kindly share to your loved ones, share to who that will need this information to help them to help their businesses. So let's dive straight into today's program. So today we'll be talking on a topic which is how to protect poultry from breeding problems. These breeding problems come with different names. These are different disease conditions in poultry. Well, I don't want to go into names now. I just want to talk on this so that when you have some of these things, then you know what to do. Now, number one thing is before you stock, before you stock your farm, make sure that you do a thorough cleaning of the materials. Make sure that you disinfect the pen and make sure that the materials and everything that you're going to use are properly cleaned, because some of these problems might arise from there. So make sure that you thoroughly disinfect and clean your stocking materials before you stock them. Then another important point which you have to note from here is make sure that you get your chicks from good sources, from reputable hatcheries. Don't just go and buy chicks from the roadside. Make sure that you get your chicks from reputable hatcheries. And like we in agriculture, we have our own chicks which we produce, which is premium chicks. So if you don't even know where to get, you can just call us. Wherever you are within the country, we can send them to you. And then there are some things that you have to look out for when you are sourcing your chicks. There are some things you must look out for. Make sure that the chicks are very active. Like you can see some of these chicks, they are very active. Make sure that they are not recumbents. They are not just lying down. Make sure that they can walk. Make sure that they are standing on their leg and they are not recumbent. Now, another thing you have to know from there is you have to adhere to strict biosecurity measures. And now, what do I mean by strict biosecurity measures? You don't move. Your attendants don't move from one farm to the other. And then even within your own farm, there are things that you need to do to secure your farms. You don't just move up and down. You don't, there are some attendants that are fond of moving from one farm to the other. And then when you move from one farm to another like that, you carry many of these diseases maybe under your clothes and all that. So, but if you adhere strictly to all these biosecurity measures, we are still going to come up with a main topic on biosecurity in another video, whereby we teach you all that you need to know when it comes to biosecurity, the things you need to know, the things you need to do, how you need to go about them. Then, when you have breathing problems too, there are some agents you can use. When I say agents, there are some agents which you can use in form of drug. And what do some of these things do? Some of these things, they enhance the normal breathing and suiting of the respiratory tract, so that whenever you use some of these agents, which is drug, they prevent some of these diseases. Like I said earlier on, the diseases come in form of they present breathing problems present in various forms, CRD and some other respiratory problems. So the presentation differs, but there are some agents you can also use. I don't want to mention the name of drugs so that I don't get some of us confused. Then another thing is ensure there's proper ventilation. Proper ventilation is very, very essential. Don't build your pen in such a way that there won't be free flow of air. Because if there's no free flow of air, there's going to be a lot of problem. Even during brooding rather, even when during brooding, yeah, there are times that you have to like, draw the curtains up and let there be free flow of air. Because if there's no free flow of air, you have the problem like what you are seeing on the screen there. And that fan is well ventilated. Now, another thing is do not predispose bed to predisposing factors. There are some things that predispose your bed to breathing problems. So what you can do is do not do not predispose your birds to some of these things, because if you predispose them to them, that would be a big problem. Now, temperature is one of it. When your temperature is very low or very high, or when the ammonia content arising from the litter is too high. And now there are times that you enter your pen, immediately you enter your pen, if you are someone that is experienced, you know, oh, the ammonia content of that litter is very high. So what you need to do is you need to change it immediately. So, but if you don't change it, you are predisposing them to breeding problem. Yes, another thing in this is, you know, there's a saying that if you whatever form of production you are into, it will always advise that you adopt all in and all out program. What is all in and all out? Maybe you want to stock 2,000 or you want to stock 3,000. Make sure that you stock them at once, and then when you get to the time you want to harvest them or you want to call them all together. Don't call 1,000 and leave 2,000. Don't call 2,000 and leave 1,000. And you now reintroduce maybe 1,000. No, call all of them at the same time. Call the 3,000 and then let them properly disinfect the pen before you bring in a new set of bed. So that's what we mean by adopt an all in and all out. Then another point you have to notice: ensure proper big trimming and adding of beds. For some of us that are into commercial egg production, pullets, you know, there are stages that you have to get to, that you have to debig them, because if you don't debig them, they we have what we call some vices. Some of those beds, especially if they are beds that are raised on the floor, they may start pecking each other. And if their feed is also deficient in some minerals and nutrients, they may be picking on each other. So make sure that you have the beds are properly trimmed, the beak are properly trimmed, and then the adding of the bed is uh, properly done. Another problem, especially among broiler producers, is overstocking. Now, if you overstock, there is a probability that you predispose your birds to breeding problems. So what we advise is make sure that wherever you are stocking, the pen is adequate, is big enough to house them in such a way that there won't be any form of overcrowding. So avoid any form of overstocking. Avoid any form of overstocking. We mark to the end of today's production here, of today's lessons here. So we're coming up with another lesson in a few days' time. So please stay glued to this channel, stay glued to Agricorp Media, stay glued to agricorp.com, and share this content. Like I said, share it with your loved ones. Share it. We're on YouTube, we're everywhere. Let it go viral. Let people see it so that it can help them. It can help them to be better farmers. It can help them to be better business persons. Thank you, and stay tuned.